We got some horror movie updates, some brand new trailers, some new cast members for new sequels, and a ton of other things to talk about. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, I'm KillJoy Jake, and instead of having friends, I have horror movies. Yesterday, we just got a brand new trailer for Blumhouse's The Woman in the Yard, which I think when you just put the word Blumhouse in front of any new movie nowadays, it gets horror fans a little wary. I might actually have some faith in this one, though. The film follows Danielle Deadwyler as Ramona, a woman crippled by grief after she survives a car accident that takes her husband. Seriously injured, Ramona now must care for their 14-year-old son and 6-year-old daughter, alone in her rural farmhouse. Then one day, the woman takes form in their yard. I'm not talking about Ramona, by the way. This is a different woman. Now, the titular woman in the yard, I should say, is played by Okwe Okpakwasili, which is a very tough name to pronounce, but I just did it. You might recognize her from her small role in The Exorcist Believer, if you even remember anything that happened in that very forgettable sequel. Ramona assumes that when this woman comes to the yard, she's here for the milkshakes. Wait a minute, that's something else. Ramona actually assumes that this woman is lost or demented, but as the woman creeps nearer and nearer to the house, it becomes clear she is no ordinary figure, and her intentions are anything but peaceful. Now Ramona must rally to protect herself and her children from the grasp of the woman who simply won't leave them alone. Now, if you saw yesterday's trailer, I know you might be thinking to yourself, same old from Blumhouse, but this does come from a director who actually has some really good credits under his belt already. Jean Khalid-Serra directed House of Wax, Orphan, and The Shallows. In my opinion, all three of these are bangers. He also recently worked on the film Carry On Netflix, which I have not seen yet, but I have heard so much buzz about. A lot of people seem to dig that one. Starting to speculate on what's going on in this flick, what actually brought this woman to the yard? Honestly, I think this is yet another grief metaphor, which admittedly, I'm pretty tired of. I think ever since Hereditary came out in 2018, every single year we have a new grief metaphor movie, and this is just another one to add to the plate. But again, there is a lot of great artists working on this one who have worked on other horror movies that I very much so liked. Danielle Deadwyler was in one of my favorite horror movies of last year. I saw the TV Glow, and when Okwe Okpakwasili, a name I just wanted to say again because wow, that is a mouthful. She's playing the main antagonist here, probably something that represents death, grief, whatever. I'm excited to see her more in the sunlight with this one, which is literally one of her powers, according to the trailer at least. Apparently, as long as she can cast a shadow, she can rain terror over this grief-stricken family. Sneak in some Dorito-laced scrambled eggs to your screening of The Woman in the Yard, which releases in theaters on March 28th of this year. If you missed the film Frogman from last year, I highly recommend putting this one on, especially if you're a found footage movie fan. While it's a little slow to get into, its third act of cryptid horror would make any VHS fan super happy, maybe even wet. But something that's gonna tickle your pickle even more is the Frogman Returns teaser that we literally just got this week. It's also a parody of the very famous Leatherface Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 teaser, which is just as awesome. It's oddly a similar situation to Leatherface Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 as well, because just like that film, they filmed this teaser trailer before they even went into production for the sequel. Technically, production on Frogman Returns does not start until this May. No confirmation on Kane Hodder playing Frogman in this teaser trailer yet. I don't know who's wearing that little latex glove there, man. If you have not seen Frogman yet, check it out on Screambox right now. That's like Bloody Disgusting streaming service. Give it a watch. Like I said, found footage movie fans, perk your ears up, baby. This is a weird one. Amanda Seyfried, best known for her role in Ted 2, just teased to us that they may be working on a sequel to the commercial failure that was Jennifer's Body. That doesn't mean it was a bad film though. Jennifer's Body is one of those weird movies that has been brought up a lot recently, as many people have gone back to it and reappraised the film. It's just as brutal as it is silly, and I'm glad that today it's being reappraised and more people are starting to jump onto the bandwagon here. During a recent screening of her film Seven Veils, Amanda Seyfried tells a fan, "I think we're making another one in regards to Jennifer's Body."
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Did you just confirm that?
I didn't confirm it.
specific thing.
The screenwriter of Jennifer's Body, Diablo Cody, has also talked about wanting to do a sequel. In fact, when she was promoting her new movie, Lisa Frankenstein, last year, she told Bloody Disgusting that she is not done with Jennifer's Body. I need to partner with people who believe in it as much as I do, and that hasn't really happened yet. I need someone to believe in it who has $1 billion. I love the intensity there. In terms of plot, I'm not really sure what they would do for a Jennifer's Body sequel, but what I will say is to put out another movie, especially in this time period now, where people actually appreciate the film, unlike when it released in 2009, that sounds like a really cool idea to revamp this cult classic and maybe shed a little more light on it for those who have never even heard of it. Some people only know Megan Fox from the Transformers movies, and I think that's a shame. The Bambi the Reckoning trailer came out today, and it's a doozy. 2025 is a huge expansion year for the Poonaverse, or the TCU as they're calling it, the Twisted Childhood Universe. We've already seen a new killer enter the game here with Peter Pan from Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare, played by Martin Portlock, and oh my god was that dark and disturbing. I really enjoyed Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare for how dark the subject matter was, kind of unexpectedly too, especially after coming off of the very campy Winnie the Pooh flicks that the same company has made. Now Bambi the Reckoning definitely looks more like that stuff. It looks campy as fuck. I knew this film was going to be absolutely unhinged when director Dan Allen said, "It's gonna be terrifying. When people see a deer in the wild after this film, they're gonna run for the hills." This film is about the death of childhoods. As much as it's going to ruin childhoods, expect bloodshed, tears, and rabbits, and one mean killer deer. At last, the British countryside will finally get its Godzilla. I feel like a Dr. Evil laugh track would work really well after that little description of this movie. It sounds like a Bond villain spelling out his evil plan, while you simultaneously find a way to escape. The basic plot of the film reads, after a mother and son get in a car wreck, they soon become hunted by Bambi, a mutated, grief-stricken deer on a deadly rampage, seeking revenge for the death of his mother. It's a CGI killer deer movie. What else is there to say about this one? It's gonna be ridiculous, maybe even a lot of fun, and I'm definitely gonna see it in theaters this summer. After Bambi wreaks havoc this summer in 2025, we still have Pinocchio Unstrung and Poonaverse Monsters Assemble releasing this year. I think I'm a little more excited for Pinocchio than Bambi with some of the things I know about that one, but regardless, still gonna be checking all these out. The coolest thing about what they're doing with this Twisted Childhood universe is that I think when all things are wrapped up, there's gonna be something for everybody here. There's the campy 80s slasher feeling movies, the ridiculous over-the-top monster flicks, and even some super dark stuff that gets into some crazy subject matter, just like Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. I love the variety here, baby. Some really exciting recent news here. Kathryn Newton has just joined the cast of Ready or Not 2. Now, there's been a few updates with Ready or Not 2 that have gotten me really excited. So, for instance, the original director of this one was handpicked from Radio Silence, and it was going to be Adam Robital. Now, he directed movies like The Taking of Deborah Logan, Insidious: The Last Key, and Escape Room. I like 2 of those flicks. Maybe not the other one there, but PG-13 Saw was not really for me. I don't mind Adam as a director, though. I thought that was cool. But now it's being reported that Radio Silence is back to helm this project. I'm shocked, but I'm also very happy. More Radio Silence horror movies is what I'm all about, baby. Kathryn Newton joining the cast of this movie just tells me it's going to be a banger. Kathryn Newton and Samara Weaving in the same movie, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, come on. These are 2 actresses who have not shared the screen together yet, and I think that's insane. Both of these actresses are continuously standout performers from all of their horror movies, like across the board. They're actresses who, if I see them a part of the cast, I say to myself, I'm watching that movie. Azriel from last year, honestly, I didn't even have that much of an interest in it. I'm so glad I watched that. Samara Weaving kicks major ass in that movie. And Abigail, dude, Kathryn Newton is easily a standout character amongst a movie that is chock full of really good characters. An excellent ensemble in that weird little vampire romp. This is a major win, and I give Ready or Not 2 5 booms on the boom meter, baby. I'm not actually gonna do all the booms. The Costco guys are already doing that one for me. But point being, I think this sequel is going to be good, even though I have no idea what it could possibly be about. And And now for the update that I'm sure many of you have been waiting for. David Arquette has joined the cast of Scream 7. What is going on with this flick? David is one of multiple different cast members returning to the Scream franchise with the 7th entry to reprise a previously dead character. He's joining Scott Foley and Matthew Lillard in those ranks. We went live last night to talk a bit about it, and the consensus is that it's probably going to be flashbacks. We're probably going to get a flashback potentially to Maureen Prescott's murder before the events of the original Scream to see what really went down that night. Think of it in a similar sense to that opening scene of Halloween Kills. We got to go back to 1978 Halloween and see how that night actually wrapped up, how Frank Hawkins is actually deeply rooted in the legacy of Michael Myers. While that flashback served absolutely no purpose to the overall story of that new trilogy, which really sucks, and I'm so mad that they made Hawkins just an absolute nothing character in Halloween Ends, maybe it can do something for Scream 7. Was Deputy Dewey there that night when Maureen was murdered? Will they de-age David Arquette, who has aged like fine wine, baby? I mean, it would make for a crazy opening scene, that's for sure. I'm really not loving that they're just announcing all of these big cast members for Scream 7. They didn't do that with Scream 5, and it was a big surprise when some of them came back on screen, including Skeet Ulrich. We did not know about that going into that movie. There was no official announcement that Skeet was going to be in that flick, and it was a big surprise when we got to see it on the big screen. Now, all these announcements have kind of deprived us of that. I am not liking the way that they're marketing Scream 7 at all, which definitely has me worried about the flick. We gotta just sit in this stew and marinate. No pun intended there. Hey everybody, before we wrap up this video, please make sure to subscribe to KillJoy Jake for more crazy update videos just like this. Also, go check out my gaming channel, GullGotha. We're nearly at 1,000 subscribers there. Let's try to hit that goal, people. Thank you to everybody who supports this page. I really appreciate you. Which update from today's video was your favorite, and which one has you the most excited? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you all for watching. Please subscribe, and as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.